Hi, everyone. Happy best day ever. Why? Well, because it's Thursday, it's our weekly live, and because I have George Hood coming on. It's that time of year. We're going to rock some planks in November coming up. I can't even believe it. It's a couple days away. And so I was like, we have to get George on. I haven't talked to George Hood. For those of you that don't know George Hood, he holds several plank records. This man is insane. And so I haven't talked to him in over a year. Well, since our last live, I think that was the last time. So I can't wait to see what George is up to these days, what his new plank record is. He's going to give us some tips and tricks as we kick off our plank challenge in November. Do it every single year. I have so many reasons why I love the plank, but before I start chatting away, I'm going to invite him in so we can have the conversation together. Are you ready? Okay, I can't wait to connect with George. Here we are. Hi, George.
Hi, Gina. It's good to hear your voice and see you again.
It truly has been a year, hasn't it?
Yes. This time last year.
It's been such a long time. What have you been up to?
Training continues. Working on the book now, the book project.
Okay, so I know nothing about anything. So this is the first question I have for you: is what have you been up to? Any new records? And now apparently you're working on a book.
Yes. I don't know. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you. Perfect.
All right. The as you know, last March we made an attempt to set the Guinness World Record for the most push-ups in 1 hour, and I had trained for pretty much 7 months for that. Probably looking back, I probably overtrained, but I came up short that day. Not that anybody was counting anyway. They just wanted to see how many push-ups I could do in an hour. But
what is the record for push-ups? So we're pivoted to push-ups now.
It's now 3,054. There was a former Marine that said it right after I attempted it in March down in Florida.
And how long?
Well, I went for an hour, but I did 1,900 and something. I lost count. I came up short that day, but you know what? It's okay. I showed up and delivered, and we raised good money for the charity that was involved. And I got more coverage in South Florida than I thought was possible. It was just truly amazing. The people we inspired down there.
George, you know me, I'm big on mindset. I know you are too. You kind of have to be, right, to do the things that you do, do the things that we do. Mm-hmm. And last week, my mantra was all about creating a champion mindset and how you don't have to actually win the prize. You don't actually have to create the record. You're cultivating that mindset as you do what you do. So just like you said, you came up short that day, but talk to me a little bit about what you think a champion is and how you cultivate that mindset. And maybe it was that day that you leveled up your game when you came in short.
Yeah. I mean, we're all champions to one extent or the other. Our kids look at us as champions because we're the biggest thing in life that they know of, or should be anyway. So to be a champion in the fitness realm or the athletic arena like we are, it's striving and doing your absolute best and maintaining the integrity of that effort and everything that goes into that effort. Being a champion is not just it's a series of things, components, which we call the Hood method in the book. And being a champion encompasses all those things. It's almost like it's a process. It's almost like a marriage. It involves integrity. It involves commitment and so forth. It involves teamwork and obviously gratitude and a host of other things. So that makes a champion, and a champion is honed over the course of time. You don't become a champion just because you set one world record and you disappear off into the sunset. No, a champion has a calling to step up and continue showing up for all those other folks out there who would like to be a champion. And you inspire those folks, and you're well into that, and your folks are good, and so that's being a champion. It's honed over time. And it's cultivated, and it represents the ultimate achiever to those who look to do what we do.
I love that. And you said something, you said it's like showing up knowing that you gave your all. And I use that exact same example. Like, you're a champion when you know that you didn't skip a beat, that you know that when you set yourself out because you created this challenge for yourself, this personal challenge, that you're going to do whatever it takes. If it means you have to get up at 1 a.m. to train or whatever it is, and to know in your heart that you you committed, right? You set the goal, and then you did whatever it takes. So whatever that outcome is out of our hands, is out of our control, is totally out of our control. But what we can control is how we execute and how we show up every single day.
Yes, and that's what a lot of your folks do. They try hard, and you give them the advantage of this plank challenge thing to do. But I'll tell you, if I would have been just any other Joe athlete coming in there, and I knew it was going to be a bad day, I could have easily told my handler, whoever's organizing, you know what, Hood's having a bad day today. He's got a little stomach virus. Probably won't be a good day. We'll come back another time. Just give us a call. We'll set it up for another day. No.
Yeah.
I stayed and I went into the fight and did the absolute best that I could. It hurt. No doubt. It just having an off day. And out of the 17 world record attempts that I have made, that was the fourth one where I didn't make goal. So
you pushed through. You pushed through when your body was telling you maybe not to, but that's that champion, right? Where you're like, no, I'm going to give it all that I've got. I've got to give it all that I've got. Because a lot of times, don't you think that it's, physical, you've got a headache or you have cramps or your body's not responding and you're just, whatever it may be. But how much of it do you think is cultivated in our mind? Like how much of it is just through that evaluation of how we're going to do that day? We kind of psych ourselves out. What do you think about that?
No, it's about 75, 80%, is you. Committing in your head that you're good for this, and believing in yourself and who you are and what you can deliver. But things happen for a reason, and I've had my share of defeats. But you don't never really lose anything. You right. Walk away. We learned a lot, and the media coverage we got down there after that event for not having set a world record was outrageous. There was a radio station in New York that, as a result of all that, referred to me as the most America's most fit 63-year-old man.
Amazing. Yeah. George, it's funny. I'm looking at you right now, and through the course of everything, I'm kind of squirrel moment for a second, but I'm looking at you. You look so tan. You look so good. And through everything that we've gone through, I see so many people that look like they've aged 10 plus years with everything. And I'm just telling you right now, you look incredible.
Thanks.
Wow.
Make sure your followers know that.
Yeah, no, obviously you've been sticking to the program, right? Like you didn't let any of our situations stop you. You just kept pushing through, knowing that this is what makes you show up a better person and stay on your game. Obviously it shows.
Yeah, that kind of activity generates the wellness and the beauty or so that it's inherent in all of us, and exercising and training like we do and sharing with the world like we do. With our work, that glow will show. Yeah. It's a natural byproduct of fitness.
Absolutely. I love that. So for those that are following that don't know who you are, tell me now, what is your plank world record that you what are the records that you hold right now?
Well, there's 13 of them. 13 world records, and they're if you Google me online, you'll certainly find them all. But most folks can find me. I operate off the Instagram, my profile there. So I'm toggling between 9,999 and 10,000, which followers. So if your folks hear this, they can jump in and put me back over the 10K mark. That'd be great.
There we go. I'll put that at the end of our interview. I've got that ready to show everyone so they can follow you. So how long do you hold the plank? You have so many records, but what's the longest you've held the plank?
We did in 2020, in February 2020, almost 2 years ago, we set the new Guinness World Record for the longest male plank at 8 hours, 15 minutes, and 15 seconds, surpassing the previous mark of 8:01. That's fine. That was the Guinness World Record. I still retain and still have the world's the international world record for the longest male plank at 10 hours, 10 minutes, and 10 seconds.
Okay, so you did the 10 hours, 10 minutes, 10 seconds.
Yes, and that was part of.
Where you're like, I'm going to get to that 10, 10, 10.
Yeah, that was part of the 24-hour plank marathon that I imposed upon myself, and that was just set number one, which we took a break after that one, and then I proceeded through the night to set the world record for the most plank time achieved by a human being in 24 hours. And that ended up being a total of 18 hours, 10 minutes, and 10 seconds. So we went 8 hours additional plank time over the course of that. We had to cross 16 hours. That were the input that Guinness gave us was you'd have to surpass 16 hours. But I had it certified on a higher plane. I had it certified by Assist World Records. And then Fox News the 5 at 5, Kim Guilfoyle did a very good job of detailing exactly what that record entailed. And that's the one you saw that's reflected in to tell the truth when I made my appearance on that show. So
Wow,
yeah, so I'm the guy that has the record for the longest plank ever.
That
despite,
is,
yeah. And I don't know if you saw it or not, but there was a gentleman in Australia, and I don't dignify it too much at this point in time because it's pending some inquiries. But he moved the new Guinness World Record to 9 hours 30 minutes and 9:30:01. But there's a lot of controversy surrounding that attempt, which will be flushed out in the near future. Not by me, but by other people around the world who said, this doesn't look, we've watched you do plank for the last 10 years. This doesn't look possible.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So George, like, what do you do when you're in that plank? I can't even imagine. I just, wow. High five to you. What do you do when you're in that plank and you're holding that plank and you want to stop? Like, what are the mantras? What are the things that you tell yourself? How do you push through those moments? How do you do it? How do you do what you do?
I'm down to probably maybe an hour and a half, hour 15 a day in total plank time, which pales in comparison to what I was doing last year, when I was knocking down, 3 to 5 hours of plank time a day, but in 3 sets or less. So now I do one in the morning and usually one at night. And it's all I can do to do that 30 minutes, 35 minutes. I need to change up my training regimen a bit just to get into the pose and just, go back to what I used to do. Type memos on the phone, do posts on Instagram, things like that to make the time go by fast.
You would multitask.
Yeah. And it served a purpose in that regard many times. But now it's just me watching the TV and, or listening to music, same playlist I played before. So, and there's nobody here except me and the dog. So, and he don't say nothing. So it's just like, I got to just do this thing. And, but I'm finding that 30 to 45 minutes now at a shot works well for me. Yeah. So it's a commitment. Once you get into the pose and you lock it down, you hold it.
You're in zone.
Strong toes, strong shoulders, strong forearms, strong core. Squeeze and breathe.
Okay, so let's segue on that because you're talking about strong core, everything you're doing. I'm all about mind-muscle connection, as you know. That's my whole mantra, how I get away with doing less. I really focus on exactly what I'm doing. So a question came up in the group. Rose Hill asked, how do you know when you're fully connecting to a muscle? So I was going to answer it my way, and then I'd love for you to chime in because so much of, especially with the plank, if you're not doing it right and focusing on connecting, you're going to hurt your back, right? You're going to hurt these other areas. So
yeah, you'll know if you're doing the plank wrong. You'll feel that backache, and that's where a lot of people will, mess up. They'll note that discomfort. The plank is an active position of rest. It should actually in the yoga genre, that's what it is. It should actually feel pretty good,
relaxing,
and it does if you're in the right position and that energy and power is balanced from head to toe.
I see. Yeah. And if you're not connecting to the right muscles, like you said, you're going to feel it in other areas. And that's when you potentially could lose your plank, right?
Yeah. You're asking for problems at that point. Yeah. And most people, yeah. So you have to be, trained to a certain extent to how to execute the pose. And there's plenty of videos and plenty of people that I'm certainly a part of most of them who are doing planks and, and you can see how to hold the plank pose. But at the end of the day, just do it. And see how you do.
Right. Yeah. And, it's so great to talk to you before we start this challenge, because for my challenge, it's every day we do a different variation of a plank. I know you do standard plank. We do different variations to keep it fun, to keep it fresh. However, we're doing it Tabata style. So it's 4 minutes, 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off. So that might sound like a lot to some people. We are splitting it up. So it's not 4 minutes straight. But when I think about you training for hours on end or holding a 10 minute or 10 hour, 10 hour, 10 minute, 10 second, I never want to discredit any of those seconds. Just put things in perspective. Like when you're sitting there and you're like, 20 seconds seems so long. I want you to think of George as he's holding a 10-hour plank.
Think of something you can distract yourself with. Think about your kids. Think about something just get yourself distracted like you do in the grocery store, and you run into a friend and you start chatting, and all of a sudden you look at your watch and say, "Oh, where'd the time go?" that applies, what we do as well.
So how was it planking during this whole situation? Because I have this picture of us, George. I miss these days. This is how I met George.
Yeah.
This is a local. You see my kids in the background, how small they were.
Yeah.
Everyone's familiar with this. If you're local, Carlsbad is our beach down there where you've got the boardwalk, and we're walking back and forth. And here's George. Sure enough, he's holding the plank, and we go on our 45-minute walk. And on our way back, he's still there. And just so awesome. But I remember you talking about that power of talking to people as they're walking by, or giving a high five, that power of just that energy connection. So have you transitioned with everything that's going on? You say that you're just in your house with your dog. Have you made that transition?
Well, I'm not, there hasn't been a need yet to up my plank game to where I was doing at the time before, but I can tell you just from what I'm feeling now with these shorter planks, that it won't take much to light the fire, and I could come back very strong. I'm feeling that now. So, but I experiment now with different things with the plank. I'll flip up on my side and do a side plank now, and then flip back down, go up on the other side. Now I economize. I do all my leg lifts now from the plank pose.
Oh my gosh, I love
seriously, up and out. I do a lot of that, and then I do drop the knees. Knee touch. Right, left. To music, get a good beat going. And it's a lot of fun. I have fun with it. That sort of passes time now. But
good music going.
I have 5 fond memories of Carlsbad. That was. We did a lot of good work out there and set a lot of world records. That's for sure.
So awesome. Now, why did you choose the plank when you decided to, start getting after all these world records? Why the plank?
Because it was helping me. It was an easy pose to get into. It was one that almost anyone could do or try. So I tried it, and then I realized that there was a world record for that pose. I mean, it was a yoga pose. And I think that kind of opened the door to some of these other yoga poses that are, now, world record categories and so forth. But that, I lost my train of thought there. But
did you pick it because, just like a squat, how a plank it works the entire body. So if you just planked, look at, you're in phenomenal shape from head to toe. And obviously you do cardio, you do other things, but for the most part, when that's your focus, and look at what incredible shape you are. So just like the squat, isn't the plank an exercise that works your entire body?
That's the benefit of it. I mean, you could do it on the road when you're traveling. And I love the plank. I'll lay one down just about anywhere if I get bored, and it's really beneficial. Don't just do one. I have a lot of success with people doing the pyramid: a 1 minute, a 2 minute, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. With maybe a 30-second break in between each one. Similar to what you do, but so
we're doing a variation of that where we're doing the Tabata. So you've got the different times with a really cool playlist, everyone, this time. And then also, but changing it up, like you said, so every day with a different one, just kind of keep it fresh and fun for those people that get bored easily, can't do George status.
Yeah. I mean, when you start going long, like I do, and you want to commit to hours on end, there's a certain component mentally that kicks in where you got to stay in the game because that's what you're training for a world record or a personal best. Yeah, you got to cultivate that attitude and really up your game to be able to stay in it so that you don't falter.
Yeah, I love it, George. So what are you doing now? What's your next challenge? You still on the push-ups, or where are you at?
I don't know. I don't think I'll go back to the push-up record. It was set right after I did it by that Marines. That's a good thing. In North Carolina, I think it was 3,054. I've certainly inspired quite a few people to start doing push-ups now, including my brother Marines. But I did set a record for it was the most push-ups in a year. I didn't hold it very long because there was a former Marine up in Wisconsin who set the world record, had it certified by Guinness World Records for the most push-ups in a year. I went to 1.2 million push-ups in 2020.
Oh my goodness, George.
I counted every single one of them, and I got the books and the records to show it every single day.
Oh my gosh. Incredible.
Yeah. Seriously, 1.2 million.
That is insane. Now so I heard you're writing a book. What is your book on?
Yeah, the book.
Cultivating this champion mindset. What is it?
Yeah, we're probably going to call it the Hood Method. You know, it's kind of here, there, it's all there. I have a writer, a doctor out in San Diego, Joe Risser, who knew me years ago when I was out there, and he was dialed into the record we set out there in 2015 for the plank. He's writing the book on my behalf, and I'm providing him a lot of substantive content for the book. But that's what we're working on now. We want to tell the story, the Hood method, the Hood Method. How I do what I do or did.
I love it.
You know, so I think that's where we're moving in that direction. I'm looking for probably in 2022. We should be able to have that thing done and out and published. And I think a lot of people will enjoy reading it. It'll encompass a lot of my career, a lot of what we've done over the last 15 years in setting records, and the lessons learned as a result of doing that journey. I'm not selling anything. It's just the story that I get asked about every single day.
Yeah, I love that you're making that pivot because, I mean, it's so rad, all the things that you've done. And, you know, you do it because you love doing it. But now it's time for you to share the story because people want like the how, the why behind it. And how, like I said, what do you do in those moments where you've got that voice that's coming in strong, telling you that you can't do it? How do you fight through that? And, you know, you don't have to do a plank to learn these lessons. That's the thing. That's why I love about the mantras that I share and the lessons that I've learned is that you take those into every area of your life, right?
Yeah, it's funny because you mentioned that you know the default reaction to stress or duress, if you're not trained appropriately, is to quit. Right. The body doesn't like discomfort, right? So you have to be able to fight that, and we talk about that a lot. And that's a mindset. I tell people all the time, don't lift that forearm. No, that's the natural reaction. You want to lift that forearm, right, and relax. No. Stay in it for the next 15 seconds till you're done. So it's got it. That's the default, reaction. But most people, when they realize that, make themselves stay in the pose. There. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So let's just pick up the lessons. You got to just keep coming back when you stumble and you fall and things get in your way. You just got to keep coming back fighting.
Well, yeah. And that's some people have to learn that, but that's what makes this my work. I often refer to it as my job. I mean, I do this 7 days a week. I rarely take an entire day off, but it's what I do. I sacrifice things. Yeah. There's not, this is really what I do. I'm only training now I need about 4 hours a day now to get all my stuff done.
Amazing. You say you don't take a day off. What do you do for your recovery? What do you do for, do you take baths? Are you on like a supplement program, or what do you do to recover? Because in my world, rest days and off days are a thing. Yeah.
I'll take an off day if I have to drive somewhere, I got to go back to Pennsylvania this week or next week. Dedicating the borough building to in my father's name. So, cause he was their mayor for 20 plus years.
Wow.
So I'll be going back for that, but that comes a day off. It's a travel day, right? But if anything, I just reduce the volume, the intensity,
Okay.
So
even though you're still planking and you're still in motion, you're shifting into more of like a restorative plank or something to kind of not be as intense.
Yeah. Well, depending how long you go, it becomes, it just, as long as it feels good for me. And I'm going to test myself here in a week or two, just to see if I can, land somewhere between 2 and 3 hours, see if I still got it, and then go from there and see what we might do.
And George, you don't think that taking a day off, just honest question, would help or would benefit your plank success?
It has in the past. I just don't like to believe it. That's all. If you take a day off, you feel like, oh no, I'm gonna melt. But no, actually, in the days I have actually taken off and just avoided any training at all, I've always come back 90% of the time. I've always come back the next day or so feeling pretty good.
Right?
Yeah.
Got to take your own lessons there, George.
Yeah, I know. It's just hard to take sometimes. But
totally, I get it. So, okay, as we move into the plank challenge, which I'm so excited about, thank you for getting us excited and going. A big part of this also is the planking and then the thankfulness and the gratitude. And I'm really big on gratitude. I'm really big on focusing on the positive things in our world. And I know you are the same. Do you have a gratitude practice, or how do you work gratitude into your day?
Well, when I walk out the door and and I look back and I see the people around me and I see what's going on in the world, and I just, I'm thankful every single day that I have the health that I do. I don't get sick. I don't have COVID. I don't intend on getting COVID. And, that mindset has really helped me. And what was the thought we were going on?
Do you have a gratitude
Oh, yeah.
practice?
So I don't take that for granted. And I think that's what has been in the book. We talked about having gratitude and being thankful for having the ability to do what you do.
Yeah.
I mean, these are gifts, Gina, and your folks have to realize that you are blessed. We're blessed. We are blessed with a body and a talent to inspire others. And it comes from a higher power. You can believe in whatever you want to believe in, but I know where it comes from. I didn't make it. We were blessed with this. And when you grasp that and you commit to using those gifts that you've been blessed with, to serve that greater good, whether it's helping someone else or raising money for a charity or, committing to some cause that's greater than you, that you're going to be successful, and you'll end up doing this stuff like I've been doing for the last 15 plus years.
Yep. I love it, George. Another one of I call them mantras, other people, they're lessons, whatever it is. They're things that keep us showing up. Just a few weeks ago was, I get to do this. You don't have to do this. You don't have to sit there and hold a plank, but to just go back to what you're saying about the fact that you get to do this. Our bodies are able to do this. I can hold, it's amazing. And when you shift your mindset from I have to I get to, it's pretty powerful stuff. And that alone may keep you in that plank longer, just like focusing on the fact that you're able to do this, that we're able to do this.
Yeah, and that breeds respect for oneself. That you're humble and you realize you're not selfish. You have a gift you're sharing with others. And I've been called this generation's next Jack LaLanne.
I love it. You sure are. That is a good one. So good. What I love is that, so if the girls that have been in the tribe and in my space for a while, who kind of know my thoughts, my beliefs, my mantras, the things that we talk about on a daily, the deeper stuff, the motivational stuff, what I love, girls, and you can back me on this, is the things that we talk about. I have not talked to, this is coming from George. This is like, all these little nuggets that he's saying are things that we talk about. So when you ask the question of how do I create that champion mindset, or how do I reach my goals, or how do I not stop? This is how, the people that have done the big things, the people that have done the things, we all have that same, you just got to keep trying. There's no set record that you have to break in order to be a champion, right?
Right. You commit to doing the best for yourself, because it's your body. You're taking care of it. You're executing the pose. You're doing whatever fitness thing you want to do. You're that builds character. It builds confidence in oneself, and people need to get their arms around that. This is about you and the message you send to others. If not for lack of your kids. They want yours especially have watched you do a lot of stuff.
So you said another good word. This was another one that popped up a couple weeks ago. So I'm going to ask you the question, and I guarantee the answer is going to be very similar. What do you think builds confidence?
Believing in yourself first. Believing that you are worthy of being able to do what you do, and you step up to the plate and you swing the bat. You don't freeze. Yeah.
Execute. You do, right? We call it do-it-ins, George, because it's doing, and it's through the doing, it's through the daily grind that you build that confidence.
Absolutely. And after a while, you'll feel good about what you're doing. You'll avoid the cockiness because you're grateful. You have gratitude. So you won't be cocky. You won't be a jerk. And you'll end up, inspiring a lot of people by having the confidence you have. You'll walk better, you'll talk better, you'll smile better, you'll look better.
Exactly. I was going to say, people are going after it for the looks most of the time, but when you realize you put all these pieces together, you get the looks, you have the confidence, you get to, help other people. It's like, be healthy, live your best life ever. Come on, people. Get with
And
protein.
those are the blessings that just
Yes.
happen. Those are the gifts we're given as a result of what we do. It's not
And
hard.
what I love too, George, is that these are the gifts and the blessings that we all have them, right? Like I am no different than you. You are no different than Bob walking down the street right now. We all have this fire within us. We all have this endless potential, but it's
Yeah.
who's willing to tap into it and who's willing to trust and believe in themselves enough to actually see it through.
I made a comment the other day to my writer. I said, about that. I said, yeah, it's all inherent in all of us. The confidence, it's there. It's like your appendix. It's just waiting to be used to have a function. It's there. So you tap into it, and I guarantee you will be rewarded.
Yes,
absolutely.
In my world, it's fire. So my logo is a big fire flame because we all have that fire. But guess what? You gotta ignite that fire. You gotta get it going. But it's there. It might be dormant. It might be hibernating. But you gotta have the right tools to light it, set it on fire, and then from there.
Once you flip that switch and that fire is lit, I guarantee you the pilot light will forever remain lit.
Love that. Because that feeling is infectious. How could you never, like you said, you don't take days off because that feeling, right?
Right.
I'm going to get you to take days off, by the way. But until then.
I do. I think I had really a total of about maybe 4 days off last year.
Wow.
Where I did absolutely nothing.
All right. I'm going to set an alarm now. Every Sunday at 5, I'm going to text you, George, day off, reminder.
No, there's some benefit to that. Absolutely. And I tend to overtrain to a certain extent, but it's my issue. But you're right. I should take more days off and recover,
When you're ready, you will. Right?
Oh, yeah.
About the recovery, though, real quick on that question, what do you take for recovery that helps you? Do you take any supplements that you say really, obviously it's the foods and real foods and all that, but is there any key supplements, glutamine or anything like that you take?
Too many people get confused about diet nowadays. I just keep it simple. It's, a nice balance of fats, carbs, and protein. Nice balance, and I'm into the superfoods, some of the things we have now that we didn't have 5, 6, 7 years ago, the spirulina, chia.
Yeah.
Chia is, the Aztecs used to pick those poppies out of the field and just rub it against their gums when they would go into battle. I mean, that's a powerful energy source.
Yep.
It really is.
Yeah. As close to real as possible.
Absolutely. So some of the healthier, the superfoods, the ashwagandha, the spirulina. I throw down a lot of spirulina. The minerals, for the minerals alone, the magnesium content and so forth, and it's a good energy source. But thousands of grams a day. I take those all in the morning, and it all starts with that first glass of water. 20 ounces of water, whether you're thirsty or not. Drink that first glass of water right from the get-go.
Yep.
Walk yourself before coffee, before juice.
Hydrate before you dehydrate.
Yes, yeah. Whether you like it or not, drink that glass of water. It's 50% of your body weight in ounces. That's the formula for water consumption. Yeah,
Right?
Yeah.
So as we kick things off, you shared so many amazing tips, but do you have any last minute tips to share with followers, people that jump on board this challenge about the plank?
Go into the challenge with a refreshed attitude of yourself, why you do what you do, and believe in yourself, that you are truly magnificent in what you do. We all come from different places, but at the end of the day, we're all going to hold the plank pose at one point or another. And believe in that, and the gifts will come. It's just such an automatic transition. And show up, and try. Do your absolute best. I wish I could be beside each one of them as they're doing and coaching.
Oh gosh, wouldn't that be amazing?
Oh my God, yeah.
And here's the thing. It's like, so I host different challenges throughout the year. So we did the squat challenge. That was so many people stuck with that one, and they were a success, and they got that fire. Some people may have fallen off, and it's okay that maybe that wasn't the challenge. You got to keep showing back up. So then right now we're rocking an ab challenge, getting you ready for the planks. And so it's like, you've got to keep taking these challenges, like he said, knowing that you can do it. And then there's always there's a new opportunity for you to show up and be a little bit better than you were last time. Maybe show up a few more times, or maybe show up with a little bit more mind muscle connection. So every time you can show up better and be that better version of you with each and every challenge.
Yeah, and you'll lead them in that regard, and then people rely on people like us to inspire them and keep them in the game. That's what leaders do, and eventually everybody does it. They feel good, and that's why you're a success, and you feel good about that. I have no regrets. I mean, I look back on my fitness career and doing what I've done, and 13 world records out of 17 attempts.
Amazing.
You know anybody else has done that? I don't think so.
No. Now I know you, and that's all.
That's right.
But I just think that we're going to always, as leaders, as coaches, we're always believers. We believe in each and every one of you. We believe in every single one. And that's why we keep showing up. So if you don't believe in yourself, just keep faking it until you make it, because George and I and other people just like this who do the big things, we believe in you. And before you know it, we're just going to keep telling you and brainwashing you until you believe in yourself.
Yeah. And you believe in yourself. And I always get messages from people all around the world. I mean, there's several folks I'm dialed into with regard to the plank, especially on the female side of the house, from Pakistan to the Philippines to South America. I mean, they're all dialed into me, and it's not uncommon. I get those messages and I'm just happy to tell them, yeah, you're in the game. You've got my attention. And I'm watching what you're doing. I'm tracking your effort,
Yes. Well, it's so great. Well, thanks, George. I know we said this last time and we didn't make it work. Shame on me. But this time I would love to get you on a live plank. Maybe you could coach us through for the 4-minute Tabata or whatnot, just to hear you as to inspire us to keep going, the words that you say, the things that that engagement, those cues, can always learn those different cues to help you kind of get in a better plank position. So I'll have to hit you up for that one.
Yeah, because I could probably set that up upstairs now that I'm in my house.
So good. Yeah, let's do it.
Set it up on my platform, put the tripod up, and I should be able to see the laptop. I'll give me about.
Yeah, we'll figure that out.
Yeah.
Figure it out, ladies. And that'd be really fun. Maybe to do it as a Zoom, so we can all be in, kind of see each other doing it. That'd be really fun. Just
that would be cool.
Yeah, let's do it. I love it.
Yeah,
okay, it's happening. Okay, so got my word. Well, thank you so much, George. It was just so great to see you. And
you too. Yeah.
Let's make it not just an annual thing. Thank you for inspiring all of us. And here's George's Instagram at Hood4663 and Facebook, George E. Hood. He's the real deal. He's so incredible. And I'm really happy that you're writing this book. I can't wait to read it because, it's like now it's about storytelling. Now it's about telling your story. How do you do it? Why do you do it? What are the steps that you take? What do you do when you don't feel like doing it? All the questions that we had. I want to learn more about that. So I'm really happy to hear you're doing that.
Yeah, so I'll be happy to share that. I'll keep you apprised. You'll hear about it soon enough.
So great. Yeah. All right, George. And ladies, if you already have the app and you're in the app, the Plank Challenge will be available to you along with all the other bonus fun. And if you don't have the app, get the app. Or if you just want to do the Plank Challenge, that'll be available as well. And I'll put the link below so you can sign up if you just want to do that solo challenge. All right, everyone. Have an incredible day. Thanks again, George. And we will be in very close touch. I'll see you in sometime in November. We're going to rock it out together.
Perfect. Thanks.
Okay. Have a great day, George.
All right. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, everyone. So there you have it. An incredible man. So I'm telling you, when we're sitting there rocking our Tabata planks and all the different fun ways, I've got a really cool playlist for us, ladies. Not the Activate playlist. I've got another one. I put together a Tabata playlist. So now it's going to be so fun. Yeah, it's great. So you'll be coached like 5, 4, all those fun songs that I use for our Tabatas. Yeah, I put it together for us. And so it's going to be a really fun. It's just going to be such a great month full of planks and gratitude, and the vibes are flowing so strong. And now we're going to elevate those vibes to the next level. So I'm in it. We're in it to win it. But before we begin, let's finish off our ab challenge strong. Let's finish off October. Be mindful of those BLTs. Be mindful of that candy that might be floating around in your office, in your house. Is it worth it? It's the only question you have to ask yourself as you're about to go pick it. Is it worth it? And if it's a yes, then go for it. And if it's a no, then just ditch it. It's a very simple concept. All right, girls, have an incredible day, and I can't wait to connect with you real soon.